Good part of the day, dear students. My name is Ayubxon, and today we're going to talk about fostering communication skills through the communicative language teaching approach, CLT. Here is the outline of our lesson. In the first part of our lesson, we're going to talk about what is CLT and a little bit historical background. Then we're going to proceed with key principles of CLT and the teacher's role in fostering communication, challenges of implementing CLT. And there are several possible activities we're going to talk about later. So, what is CLT? Communicative language teaching. As its name suggests it, teaching or learning language through communication. This approach prioritizes the development of communicative competence, enabling learners to use the language effectively in real-life situations. It shifts the focus from grammatical accuracy to fluency and meaning interaction. The communicative language teaching approach emerged as a response to the limitation of earlier language teaching methods, particularly in grammar translation method and audiolingual method. These older approaches focused heavily on rote memorization, grammar rules, repetitive drills, often neglecting real-world communication and the practical use of language. So, let's talk about the emergence of communicative competence concept. This concept in 1965, linguist Noam Chomsky introduced the concept of competence and performance, emphasizing the difference between knowing a language rules, which is competence, and using it, performance. However, Chomsky focused on grammatical competence. So, in the early 1970s, linguist Del Hymes challenged Chomsky's view, proposing the idea of communicative competence, the ability to use language appropriately in social context. This concept became central to the development of CLT. There are several key principles of CLT. The first one is focus on fluency over accuracy. CLT acknowledges that errors are a natural part of learning process. Initially, the emphasis is on getting the message across, even if it's not grammatical perfect. Accuracy comes with practice and feedback by the facilitator. Then, authentic materials. Authentic materials is a materials which is designed for native speakers and is not classroom oriented. And CLT utilizes this sort of authentic materials like newspaper articles, song lyrics, videos, and real-life dialogues to expose learners to real-world language use. This helps them understand how language functions in different contexts. The next one is learner-centered approach. CLT empowers learners to take ownership of their learning. They are encouraged to practice actively, express their opinions, and make choices about what and how they learn. Task-based learning. Tasks are central to CLT. These can range from simple information gap activities, which is exchanging information, knowing the information which the listener doesn't, to more complex problem-solving tasks that require collaboration and negotiation of meaning. Interaction is a fundamental. Learners are given ample opportunities to interact with each other and the teacher practicing the communication skills in a supportive environment. Now, teacher's role in fostering communication. Teacher act as a facilitator, guiding learners through activities, providing support when needed. Then, monitor and corrector. The teacher provides feedback, correcting errors gently and focusing on the communicative impact of those errors. Resource. The teacher provides language support but encourages learners to rely on their own resource as much as possible. Evaluator. The teacher assesses learners' communicative competence, focusing on their ability to use the language effectively in real-life situations. There are some challenges of implementing CLT, which might be time consuming. CLT activities can be more time consuming than traditional grammar focused lessons. Then, effective CLT requires teachers to be trained in facilitating communicative activities and providing appropriate feedback. Assessment. Assessing communicative competence requires different methods than traditional grammar tests. Learner resistance. Some learners may initially find it challenging to focus on fluency rather than accuracy. Possible activities. For example, information gap activities. Jigsaw reading. Divide a text into sections, assigning one section to each student or group. Students read the section and then explain the information to the others, reconstructing the complete text collaboratively. Describe and draw. One student describes a picture or object in detail to a partner who is drawing it without seeing the original one. This helps with descriptive language and clarification skills. The second one is role plays and stimulation. For example, restaurant role play. Students take on roles of waiter or waitress and customer, practicing ordering food, making requests, and handling payments. Discussions and debates can be one activity for this CLT method. For example, current event discussions. Discuss current events using articles or videos as a starting point, prompting students to express their opinions and engage in debates. Pros and cons debate. Divide students into groups to debate the pros and cons of a particular topics, for example, social media, climate change, or specific policy. Using authentic materials. For example, movie clips. Watch short movie clips, pausing to discuss the plot, characters, motivations, and cultural context. Or song lyrics. Analyze song lyrics, discussing their meaning and interpreting figurative language. So this is the end of our lesson. Thank you for your attention. If you have questions or suggestions, you can reach me by my email address ayubxonerkinov@gmail.com.